when you just start to own wherever you're coming from as being more authentic and trusting that you are following the aligned path, you end up looking up at the stars just having no reason that you're that happy, but you just are. About 3 years ago, I realized I was living the life I should want. I had checked the boxes that should have made me happy, and I wasn't. I had fulfilled one of my all-time dreams. I was working at the company, doing the work that I wanted to do with the people I wanted to do it with. I just was not happy. What I've now since realized is I'm not the only one. There are so many of us that are living lives that are completely geared towards checking boxes that we think and are taught. Really, the key is that we are taught will make us happy. You might have bought certain things, wear certain clothes that will hopefully you'll fit in. We do this from a very young age. And it's not to say that any of those things are bad, right? You need to express yourself in order to find your tribe. But the real energetic shift happens when you realize that what you are getting in your life is a reflection of who you're being. And the fact that you're getting things that aren't making you happy is because you're not living from your heart. That was my realization. I was creating from a place of what should get done, how it should look, what I should be. And I was getting things that should have made me happy. And now that I'm living life more from a heart-centered space, like the other night, I'm able to just like look at this moon and stars and just have this, like, for me, it was a bizarre feeling of like, this shouldn't be making me this happy. Like the form and the thing I can point to of what I'm doing, how is this making me this happy, right? And that's the life that I think we all want. That's the life I wanted. That's the idea that I had when I set out on this journey of like, that's what I want to try to find. So I want to share some of those things that I've been doing that have helped me with all this. The number one thing that I think any of us can do to start aligning with the life that we truly want, just set the intention. And every day, just try to make as many decisions that will lead you down that path of whatever it is you want. Intend that, and you'll start going that direction. Second thing is detach from what your mind thinks it should look like. If you think that you should be a certain way at the end of, and what your highest self looks like, you're probably wrong, honestly. And this is a big thing that I've been working on, especially recently, is I've realized that I've been doing this like inner processing work, almost trying to end up in a place, in a version of myself that I decided was ideal from a conditioned state, from a state of should, right? When I'm my best self, this is what that should look like. And I've had to decondition that whole thing and say, no. The more I just follow my heart and where I feel I need to go, then I will end up as who I truly am. And that will look like whatever it needs to look like. In the song, Tarzan song, love this song, Son of Man, he says, find your place next to the ones you love. And what I realized was I grew up with people that I love and I still care about, and they're awesome people, but my place was not by the ones I loved, right? The ones I love are by my place. So wherever I end up, authentically wherever I end up, I will find my tribe. And that's the last thing is however you express yourself, just check on the energetics of how you're expressing yourself. We all will fit into certain tribes. We will resonate with certain people. And right now, you probably have friends that you may kind of resonate with, but like a very simple example is like drinking buddies. Are drinking buddies your friends, or are they just people that you do this activity with? It's a very different energetic than a tribe, right? Than your soul family. And I think that we all would prefer one over the other. But that authenticity, in order to arrive at that place, first has to come from us. We have to be brave enough to ask ourselves questions that we don't know the answer to. And honestly, to answer questions that the answer kind of scares us. I've had so many experiences with that, where it's like, I've been taught my whole life that, hey, you know what? There are certain questions that we don't ask. Asking yourself those questions and opening the door to whatever monsters want to come out of it is a very scary thing. But the more that you open that door and realize the scariest part is opening the door and facing the black unknown and waiting until really, typically it's just a little happy new part of yourself that hops out. You're like, holy shit, this was in there the whole time and I just didn't know. Like that's the joy of this process, is reconnecting with parts of you that you've tasted, and maybe you just thought, well, like, okay, that's fine, but that's childish. Or, hey, you know what? How I want to be doesn't involve this emotion, doesn't involve this piece of me. And when you just start to own wherever you're coming from as being more authentic and trusting that you are following the aligned path, you end up looking up at the stars just having no reason that you're that happy, but you just are. So I hope some of this helped, and I'll catch you on the next one.